everybody. This is Dorcas Chandler at dorcasgazelle.com. I am laughing today because I am so happy. Here in my office today, I have Marty, my good friend. She's been my proofreader, my secretary, and a very, 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 very good friend. She came out here for Christmas.
Hello.
And she came out here and she said, Dorcas, I don't want you to be alone at Christmas time. She didn't want me spending Christmas alone. And wow, did we have a great time at Christmas time. You know, Marty can cook, I can't. And we had people over for Christmas. And then the New Year's, we did the same thing. We had a really great time. And I'm hoping that you're having a good time. Because, you know, sometimes at the Christmas time and the holiday times, a lot of times people go through a lot of depression. And they go through feeling alone. And they feel like they're not significant. But this is what I want to tell you. That no matter what we go through in life, there's always a way out. And we may be sad some of the time, but I believe that God will always make a way for us to have friends and family around us. You may say, well, I don't have no family. Well, go out and make some friends. I keep saying that on my tapes. You know, go say hi to somebody. You will never know what comes out of the word hi. Sometimes it's just the way that we're thinking. And, you know, I said on my last tape, I was talking about how that I got up that morning because I had to go to my doctor, and my house was really dark and I was feeling really terrible. I mean, I did my exercise and I still couldn't get my back to get in order, and so it took me a long time to get dressed. And so when I got ready to finally go up to the front, I looked in the mirror and I said, Dorcas, you look horrible. And I didn't tell you that part on last time, but I felt really horrible because I couldn't get my hair to go in the right way. I put one side up, the other side would fall down. And I looked in the mirror and I said, you look horrible. And when I was talking about on my other tape was, you know, the power of thoughts. And whatever we're thinking, as a man thinketh, so is he. You know, so then I get up to the front and it's pouring down rain. I don't have a sweater or a coat, but I knew I needed to go because my ride was out there. And I believe if somebody is gracious enough to pick us up, we should be ready. So anyway, I got on in the car, and so I told my friend Lori, as I told you on last taping, I said, you know, I'm going to need a wheelchair this morning because I was really stiff. And so anyway, when we get to the doctor's office, you know, I'm walking up these steps and I'm having to hold on to this rail. And the rail is just soaking wet when I touched it. So when I got inside, I was wiping my hands on my dress. And here comes this lady. She turns from signing in and she said, oh, honey, you look so pretty. And I tell you, I said, huh? She said, you look so pretty. And I started looking around because I'm telling you, I was like, this lady, like I told you on last one, I said, she's either blind or she is a Christmas angel. Because I couldn't see what she's seeing. But what I learned from that situation, even though I'm laughing about it and Marty's laughing too, when they brought the wheelchair for me to get in to go down the aisle, and I got in the wheelchair, but I got up because I needed to weigh. And then after I got up, and I felt better. And I felt like you can walk this aisle. And so I never needed the wheelchair. That was the easiest walk that I've ever had since I've been walking down that hallway. Now, this is what I'm saying. The power of thoughts, how positive affirmation, even though sometimes we may not feel like it, or we may not look like it, but a positive affirmation, even though she spoke that to me, she spoke it into my spirit and it changed my thinking. So sometimes it's just a matter of changing your thinking so that you can get to the next level. And I've been thinking about that a lot because I realized that, Dorcas, sometimes your thinking is off, and when your thinking is off, it causes our muscles to contract, and it causes so many things to happen in our body that when we're thinking negative thoughts. But if we could just shift the focus, and that's what I'm believing God to help me in 2019, is because sometimes my thinking is really off. I mean, really off. So if I can learn to change the way I think, because that lady, even though she was speaking to me and she don't know me, I don't know her, I've never seen her, and I thought, how could you be saying this to me? But when I came home and I was just reminiscing over my day, it said, you said, I feel horrible. I look horrible. And here comes someone to say how pretty you look, and what different. It made just a total difference in the outcome of what I was doing. So this year, we're going to be dealing with our calendar, and we're going to be teaching on the things that are in my book, and we hope that it will be inspiring and that it will help us to grow and be better people. You know, a lot of times we're saying that we want change, but change takes work. It takes perseverance. And so my book, I'm really excited about it, and we're going to get it out. I know I keep saying it, but I promise you this book is going to come out. And so this year, the theme is going to be all through the year is fresh start. And the reason it's not starts, it's fresh start. And what does that mean? That means start from where you are. It's time now that we stop continually looking back. Marty is here with me. She was my secretary at Excel. We went through a lot of things. I talked over a lot of things with her. And I realize now it's time to move on. It's time to let it go. My school is gone, and nothing I can do about it. I didn't plan the accident, and a lot of things in our life we don't plan, but they just happen. So whether it's our weight, and this is something that I'm working on. I'm not only working on my weight, because I know that weight is not the only thing, and I know that it's what I'm thinking a lot of times that causes me to go in the wrong direction. And that even has to do with food. Because if we start thinking, oh, I got to have it, I got to have it, I got to have it, then a lot of times we will go get it if it's available to us, and it causes us to err in our ways. So I am just excited about Marty being here with me, and we're talking about fresh start. And I just want to know, how do you see yourself in 2019 making some changes, or starting from right where we are, not starting over, not looking back and saying if I woulda, coulda, shoulda, but what do you see right now in your life that you want to do differently in 2019 for a fresh start?
Well, I think I really like what you're talking about as far as fresh starts. And the important thing, one of the important things that I think that you said, or that you're alluding to, is the fact that we don't want to carry old baggage from the past, things that have really sabotaged us in our life and our daily life, that gets us down, or that gets us. We don't want to bring those things into this new year. Right. Fresh starts is such. I love it, because I think this is a really good opportunity for us to change our
Right.
focus. And if we change our focus, change the way we talk to ourselves, start
Right,
talking
right.
positive, like you were talking about affirmations. Affirmations are wonderful because it does. What you start saying it in your mouth and start believing it in your heart and start really thinking on and mulling over the positive, some positive things about you, then you're going to start believing that and you're going to start walking like you said, the way that lady just that one phrase, she's like, ooh, you look pretty. I know you may not have felt it, but it's like, ooh, well, maybe I do. Maybe I do look pretty.
Right.
But those positive affirmations can really change your focus, and that's what it's about: changing your focus from that negative, those old things, that bad things that would pop up in your mind. Changing it, you can change it. You
Yeah.
really can, because
Right.
it's in you. God didn't create junk. You just start thinking about who you are, especially who you are in God, who you are. Start thinking about the positive things about you and start focusing on that, changing our focus. And I think, for like you were saying, what do I want to do? I really want to start changing my focus on, even if the negative thoughts start coming, recognize that this is a negative thought. I can know that you can change it. That's the truth. You can change it.
Right.
And start saying some positive things, and start affirming some positive things about you, and that will just change your focus.
Right.
And just continue on that way.
Right. Great. That is really great, because I think that's the only way that we are going to be able to change. We have to change our mind before we can change our body. And that's one of the sayings that I keep saying. We have to change our mind, because if we don't change our mind, our mindset, the way that we're thinking, and not only the way that we're thinking, but what's coming out of our mouth.
Yes.
The things that we're saying. And so I might say, well, I don't really talk bad about people, and that could very well be a true statement. But what am I saying about myself?
Yes.
And not only to myself, but what am I saying about myself? I've said a lot of bad things about myself. Because I've said the way that I felt. What has to happen is, even though I may feel a certain way, I still have got to learn to say what I want. See, if I'm not saying what I want and saying what I feel like, what you're going to keep getting is what you keep feeling like. And so that's why when I say, okay, Dorcas, you're getting up, and you can stand up now, and you can walk, and some days they're really good. Some days I can walk through this house and I don't have my walker. Some days I forget where I left it. You understand? And then there are other days that I feel really not good. And those are the days that I start saying, well, maybe I'm not going to be able to. And then I have to say to myself, no, because you've come this far. And because you've come this far, you can go on. And that's what we want to do. We want to always make sure that when we're reporting what's going on in our lives, that we're reporting it from a standpoint of truth. And not only from a standpoint of truth, but we want to make it applicable. We want to make it so that it's something that everybody can obtain to. And if we only try to help ourselves be better. Sometimes, too, talking, excuse me, to some of the people that email or some of the people that call, we want somebody else to help us do what we need to do. Does that make sense? We want the doctor to make us feel better. We have to apply principles, everyday principles, to make our own lives better. There's a lot of things out there. You might say, well, I don't know what to eat. You can go out on the internet, and everything on the internet is not really good, but there is a lot of good out on the internet. So we don't even have to go to the library no more. There's things out there that can help us, and different foods and different exercise. I know that I was doing exercise in the bed, and I still am. But I sit up now and do exercise. I stand up now and hold on to my bed. And what I'm doing is I'm lifting my legs up and down. And so I just create something. If it's my legs that's hurting, I know that it's my muscles and my joints. And then when the physical therapist was out here, she told me you need to add protein to your diet. And when I started adding protein to my diet, I began to feel better. So what we have to do is we have to be teachable. That I think that's the word. Every great teacher must first be a student of learning. You cannot teach somebody something unless you're willing to learn. Every teacher must be willing to learn. And a lot of times, sometimes we're going through things and they really look bad. You can look back, or I can look back on my life and see some things that have been devastating. I know for you, even Marty, your husband have died.
Yeah.
Just different things that have happened in your body, right?
Yes,
and we
yes.
can look back on those things,
Yes.
but then you know what those things are? The things with my parents and they're dying in the school and all that other stuff. It looked like it was trouble. But you can take that trouble and turn it around, because you know what? That is a teachable. That's a teachable moment.
And when you think about it, just think where you are now. Just think, just in spite of all that has happened.
Right.
Look at me. I'm still standing
Still
strong.
standing.
Still standing strong.
Right, right.
And so it is a time. I was thinking about some things that you can do, like you were thinking about as far as the new year coming. I was thinking, start making a checklist of things that you can do to kick this new year off on a positive note.
Right.
The positive affirmation, thinking about, you were saying about, setting some goals,
Right.
and some attainable goals. And as you reach them, applaud yourself,
Right,
for
right,
reaching that particular
right.
goal. And I know on your calendar, you talk about accountability partners.
Oh,
when
my
you start feeling down, call one of the people that are your support.
There you
that what they can do, they can speak. Let them know. You're like, I need you to say something good about me. If you need something, that's not being selfish or being conceited or anything like that. Sometimes you need that to get you through to the next, to keep going on. So, don't be afraid to do those things, but start maybe taking a checklist of some things that you can do to prepare for when you do have those moments that it's like, ooh, I'm not feeling good about myself today. Have a list of some things that maybe you can do on those times that you are feeling that way.
Excellent. And accountability partners, people don't really realize. Accountability partners are really important.
They're important.
Because if you don't have somebody, if you're trying to walk this journey by yourself,
You can't.
you can't do it. God never meant for us.
He didn't
to
create
be
us that
alone.
way. He did not create us that way.
No. So if you have somebody where you can pick up the phone and say, you know what, I am having a rough day, and see, that's what happened to me. I kept a lot of stuff in, and I just told you in 2015 what happened really with the school. You know what I'm saying? Stuffing all that stuff inside of me almost caused me to have a nervous breakdown. So that's why when I'm doing my calendar, when I wrote my book is really about my transformation and what I've been through in my life, and accountability. I don't mind telling whatever I need to say. And people say, Dorcas, you be saying everything I hear on this website. I'm not ashamed. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because I realize that God has used that for a stepping stone, and you would be surprised of the emails that I get, because some people are going through certain things. And so my time is running out, but I do want to answer one phone call that I had got, and it's regarding sagging skin. And I know we're shifting the gear right now, but I really need to talk about it. Someone had lost a lot of weight, and they're talking about the sagging skin and the chafing and the different things that's happening on their body. And this is what I want to tell you. First of all, you should always talk to your doctor. We don't diagnose at all. But this is what I want to tell you from the standpoint of me when I had my back and I had a lot of things going on my back. The first thing, as people with have lost a lot of weight, or you may not have lost weight, but maybe you're getting older and the skin starts sagging. The thing I want to say is we have to keep it clean. We have to keep it clean. And we have to make sure that we have lift up whatever needs to be lifted up, and we need to clean. Not only do you need to be clean, you need to be dry. It's very important if you have sagging skin that after you wash yourself, that you dry yourself off well. Because any moisture and that skin keep rubbing and rubbing and rubbing, it's going to cause you to chafe, and it's going to cause you to even have an infection if you don't take care of it. So somebody would say, well, I go and get something over the counter. I'm not saying get something over the counter. If you got some pus and some different things coming out from because of your sagging skin, you need to go to the doctor. And somebody asked me another question, and I told them, I said, I don't know. And see, I'm not going to tell you that I know something beyond that I'm experiencing. But I have sagging skin, so I can tell you how to wash, how I wash. I'm telling you what I do. But I'm also telling you that if you have an infection or you think something is wrong with you because you're sagging skin, you need to get medical help. And that's why, I was laying in the bed and I was like, God, when I started Dorcas Gazelle, and I'm ending, I said I started it for people that were overweight. That's what I thought. But this thing it's just so many needs that it has really, and so we're hoping and we're praying and we're asking God to always allow us to say the right thing, and that will move you in the right direction. So don't be afraid, and that's in my calendar. And the only reason why I can say it because I didn't do it.
Sometimes, and about the needs, and you're reaching a bigger audience than those that are needing to lose weight. Some problems in some situations transcends, whether you're fat or white or black or skinny or yellow or brown. It transcends. Some problems are just problems that are just everybody has, that are just life. Life happens.
It's just life. That's all it is. And so that's why we're honored, and I really mean that, to have gone through the things that we've gone through. Yeah. And you can do one or two things. You can sulk, you can feel bad, you can go into depression, or you can get up and say, what can I do about it? And I'm telling you, every year, and Marty knows this, I say, I'm not going to make calendars no more. Every single year, somebody comes back. And I'm like, oh my goodness, somebody comes back. I was getting out the car a couple Sundays ago, and this lady, she said, she walks by my house every year during calendar time. I hadn't given her a calendar in over 2 years. But she walks slow and she looks in. And I said, let me get this lady a calendar. And I said, how are you? I opened the door and she said, oh, your calendar. Oh, you made it. I said, yeah, I wanted to get. She said, I've been reading the same calendar to my 90-year-old mother. I see her when I get out the car a couple of Sundays ago, and she's just so elated with the calendar. And every year I said, I am not making another calendar. But it's because if it inspires somebody else, it will inspire you. So that's what we're going to go out with, Marty. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
Yeah. And I tell you, we've had a wonderful, and I'm looking for a wonderful year. And I know it's going to be fantastic for you, your family, and your loved ones. Just look for it. I don't care how it looks. Let's just look for a better year and just a better life and being a better person.
Yes.
Sometimes we want life to be good to us, And we need to look and see, are we good to people?
Mm-hmm.
If you're good to people, life will turn around. I promise you that. Okay, this is Dorcas Chandler at dorcasgazelle.com. You be blessed and have a wonderful year. And I did get a webcam. So I will be going live shortly. But right now, the next thing I'm going to do is I should have this book up in a couple of weeks. I'm working on the books because I am through with those calendars. Okay, all right. I love you, love you, love you. Dorcas Chandler, say bye, Marty.
Bye. Love you.
Okay. Have a great evening, Dorcas.